What's up? Welcome back to another Frontend tutorial. My name is Ricard Torres. I'm a Senior Frontend Software Engineer at Content-Centric, and here's a scenario. You are a frontend developer, you're working on a side project or landing page, something very quick and minimal, and you want to enhance it with, dynamic content. You don't want to mess with databases, PHP or Java or any of the backend languages. You want to use what you know, which is, of course, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So you think, okay, so I'm going to use a JSON object. I'm going to do a JSON file that I want to fetch from the front end, from the client, and then I'm going to, print that dynamic content on the page. And that's fantastic. That works beautifully, and it's a nice architecture. But if the scenario is quite simple and straightforward, maybe you don't actually need to do any fetch in the front end. What about using Node to actually do some server-side rendering with almost the same code that you would code for the client-side JavaScript? Let's do it. I've created repo here. I already checked it out here in my VS Code. Let's create a new file called index.html. And first we're going to do quickly the client-side version, right? So net-centric. All right. What do we kind of have? We're going to have an h1. Oh, what do we have? Main, h1, h2. We're going to do product list. I don't know. And then we're going to have something space to render our dynamic list, right? So I have a section called list. Okay, got it. Then we would need, of course, script. Let's first create the JSON. So I have here one JSON that I can already show you. Where is it? Yeah, very straightforward, very simple. JSON with a key called products, and then we have an array of objects, and it's simply title, ID, and description. That's it. Oh, it's all the same. Copy and paste it. Let me save that to data.json. All right, and now we're gonna just use fetch. So fetch. Use the file we just created. So data.json. Then of course we need to convert it to JSON. So data.json, and now we're gonna do some magic with it. So let's use again arrow functions. I like to do for each, so let's do that. So data.products, which was the key in the JSON, for each, and then we say product. Okay. What else do we need? Do we need something to store our HTML? So let list empty string. We're gonna keep pushing strings to the list. So list, we concatenate template string, and we say product title. Actually, we're gonna use, what do you think? LIs for more semantic. Okay, let's do an LI. We're gonna use h3. For the product title, we can use a P, no autocomplete here. A P for the description, so let's do description. We can even use add an image. I have one here, a placeholder. You probably already know this service, it's fantastic. So we put an image here, it looks better, and then we end up, we close off with a link to, I don't know, another site or the actual e-commerce platform, my site, site.com, product, and then we had an ID on the JSON, so let's use that, product.id by now, and close this thing. What else do we need in here? That's pretty much it for the basic structure. I do have some CSS to make it look prettier. Let me just copy it over. It has nothing to do with the logic or anything. It's just to make it look better when we preview it. What else do we have? That is it. This would populate the list here. Fantastic. Let's try it very quickly locally. So I have here my Python script, Python -m simple server. This works fantastically. Let us open it here, 0008000. Okay, and I clearly messed something up. All right. Data.json. We have a fetch. Of course, we're not doing anything with the list. Let's do that. After populating the list here, we do const list. We do query selected document dot query selector. Well, the class is list, so let's use that list. And then since it's analyzed, and we wrap it on a UL. Perfect. So list dot inner HTML equals template string. You have UL, close the UL, and then print the list here. List, it's here. Yeah, let's try it again. All right, it works. So now, as we can see here in the network, we have a call doing fetching JSON, and this works fantastic, and you would be done. And then we simply push this to GitHub. So first iteration, let's do that. As you remember from other tutorials, if you want to host something in here for free, just go to settings, go to pages, you select where you want to this from. So it's going to be the main and then the root, save. And this will trigger, if you go to now the tab actions, will trigger page build and deployment. And in a minute, it's going to deploy to GitHub pages, and we're going to see it hosted for free. Okay, let's close this. Close this, and while this thing runs, let's now think about how can we do this with server-side rendering, and we avoid network calls, more performant. And yeah, because you don't really need to do this example, you don't really need front-end code. Front-end code, client-side JavaScript. Okay, let's do backend-side JavaScript. Let's do that. So how we would do this? First, let's convert this to a template. I'm gonna call it template. We're gonna move the scripts to a new file, so copy and paste directly. So this thing here, I paste it and I call it index.js. What else? I'm gonna add here some sort of way for me to then replace the thing. So let's do product list. This is completely arbitrary. It's like my string with my delimiter, so it's easy for me to then on the node script to say, okay, replace the list with build in here with this string. Easy. We're gonna need a package JSON even if that doesn't do anything. So npm init -y, and we're gonna say we're gonna use modules, right? So type module. What else? Yeah, and then we work on this. Again, let's try to do minimal changes. So the first change we need to do, of course, is import the file system for Node. So fs, we have fs file system, fs from fs. Okay. Actually, it's all the functions as fs from fs. Correct. What else do we need here? We need to simply read the file. So we're gonna use the fs.readFile sync, and then we pass it the file, right? So the data. This little bit we need to remove this, but we're almost there. It's just a few changes. So we're here now. We have this this read fantastically. Let's not forget to pass the encoding, otherwise we might have problems. So encoding is UTF-8 without the. All right. So what else we need? We need to read also the template, because what we're going to do is just get the template, build the list, and then create a new index HTML file. Let's do that. Duplicate template very quickly. We're going to read the template.html, same encoding. Perfect. Now we have the two files, right? Which is fantastic. And then from this, we say, okay, this is almost, but not entirely. So JSON parse, great. So already again, we are parsing the file. We are looping through the products. That's perfect. We're not gonna, of course, work with the DOM here. So we need to, let me put this in here. All right. So now we need to create a new file. Okay. So how you do it? Write file sync, write file sync. What do we have in here? We have the name of the file and then the data. So let's do, you know what? We need a dist folder to make it easier for GitHub pages to work with. So let's do fs, the function is called make dir make this sync, and then we call it dist. And then of course here we say dist index.html, and then we pass what we're gonna pass. So of course this is the template, right? It's the HTML from here, right? All the your page, footer, everything. But we said that we're gonna replace the string we created just for this, right? So we're gonna replace this with the actual list. So it's list. Okay, it might happen that this already exists and it will fail for you, so we need to actually check if it exists. So fs exist sync, we say, okay, does this thing, if this thing does not exist, please create it. Perfect. Save here. Cool, let's try it out. So node index. Cool, it created this folder, and we have the HTML, and oh my god, here it is. All the HTML rendered, server-side rendered. We're done, but of course you don't want to run this on your local every time you do a change. So let's finish the setup on GitHub pages. Okay, so this has already deployed. Let's verify again that we have it live here. Cool, with the version that we already uploaded, which was the call here. Cool. Of course, now you need to actually tell GitHub Actions that it needs to use Node to build this thing. So as you've probably saw in other tutorials, we create a folder called GitHub.github actually, then workflows. Very quickly create a new file, build or whatever you want to call it. It's a YAML file. Then let me copy over what I already have for you, and I will go line by line just to know what's happening. All right, so first of all, you name the workflow. It's called build and deploy for me. And then you say, okay, it's going to trigger on the main branch push. You could do PRs, you could do a schedule, whatever it is you want to do. Then we start defining the steps. So it runs on Ubuntu, but it's perfect. And then, of course, first you need to check out the code. Just use this action. The working version I have here is B3. Then install and deploy, we did not do install, just build the thing. And then, of course, the command we used before is just node, run the index, and do your magic, right? And then you're going to take what's in the dist folder and put it on the GitHub pages branch. We don't have it yet. You can name it whatever. So let's go back to GitHub, go here to the main code tab and create a new branch, GitHub pages. Okay, now we have the branch. Perfect. So we have the branch, and then we say, okay, yeah, please, whatever is in this folder, just deploy it. That's it. This just leave it as it is. It will take you from your account, and that's it. Save. Let's push it to the repo. Okay, node version. Commit, push. While we do that, we're gonna go ahead and change the settings of pages, because we were saying, okay, please use the main branch, but now it's gonna be the GitHub pages branch. Save. Go back to actions, and let's wait for it. Yeah, yeah, as you can see, it just took 13 seconds to create the file, and it's just very fast, very fast. We can just check what we did here on the build. Yeah, just run index. Very cool. And now it's building. Let's give it a second. But yeah, so now think about it again. I mean, I know that the fetch version was easy and straightforward, but it's almost the same doing it in Node. It's just, you know, why do I need this? It's just the same. It's just, you know, you read the file and then use the same logic to print or build a list and then just create a file. That's it. Nothing else. Very straightforward. Let's give it a second. Just food for thought for you to also consider like different strategies when it comes to architecture in the front end. Okay, here we go. So it is the hosted page, and now yeah, it didn't work. I'm seeing the old version. Okay, here it is, the new version. So we have here yeah, the list, and I think we forgot something. Yeah, I think we forgot to wrap it on a UL, right? Yeah, so here you would maybe wrap it on a UL, whatever you could do as we did before, you know, UL, and then type string. But that's it, guys. That's what I wanted to show you, to actually server-side render with GitHub Pages, with GitHub Actions. It's very fast, very easy, and it's free. And it just it gives your side projects a boost and a kick if you want to do this kind of things. That's it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I hope you liked it. See you next time.